Are you ready to get casual? Grab your favorite adult beverage or combustible plant and join us for our roundtable TTRPG discussion. Oh yeah, it's time for Casual Friday. And now, here are your hosts.
Hey, what's up? It's Casual Friday. I'm Jim. That's Ryan. That other guy isn't with us. We don't know what happened to him. So we're gonna talk about tater pigs and what's new in Dungeons and Dragons and other things out there in the industry. And kicking us off, getting right into it. Have you heard about the Neopets drama, Ryan?
No, not until very recently. I'm not in the Neopets loop.
Yeah, I don't know Neopets either. I think that was after my time, but from what I understand, it's some sort of kind of furry coated hobby, involve video games and collectibles and that sort of stuff. Well, they're the company. Hey, what's up, Twin Steel? Excuse me. So there was a Kickstarter from a company called Geekify that had the license from Neopets, and they raised $427,000 on Kickstarter to make this tater pig for Neopets. And when they released a playtest, which was apparently just reskinned 5e, and not very well reskinned 5e. A lot of direct copy pasta from the SRD, and doesn't really have a whole lot of stuff that makes it Neopetty. That it's mostly, from what I understand, just combat focused and 5e focused. And so there's been a big drama there were lots of comments on the Kickstarter saying that, hey, I was a contract artist to make art for this project and I never got paid. There were several comments like that, which the Kickstarter guy responded to and said, people were paid according to the terms of their contract. He mentioned the word contract a couple times, so I don't know what's going on there. We don't want to wade into anything that could be legal waters, but what do you think about all this, Ryan? A big money Kickstarter with a big license. Did somebody just bite off more than they could chew here?
It looks like it. Full disclosure, my research advanced in fits and starts because I kept Googling nanopets, which is not the thing. um, but yes, I'm always one person comes out of the woodwork and says they used my stuff and I didn't get paid. I mean, definitely a red flag, but it's like that one bad review on Google Maps. It's like, is this a crazy person or is this a legitimate complaint here? It does seem like there were some other people contributing through the Discord, so I'm not quite sure if like fans were involved and thought they were owed something, or if someone was not on the up and up about exactly representing what they were willing to compensate people for. But it does seem that after 2 years, because this hit $500,000 almost 2 years ago, when they came out with the playtest, the note on the Kickstarter is like, oopsie, we didn't actually mean to release that beta playtest stuff yet after 2 years. But yeah, it seemed like they hadn't really shaved a lot of the serial numbers off of just like the 5e SRD, which is a medieval fantasy game and not in the, I don't know, tone and tenor of Neopets. I said it right. As much as it was a heady time, the peak of D&D TTRPGs, that golden age, like it does feel like the wave crested a little ways back. One silver lining to the wave cresting is that there are fewer cash-in grifts going on, which it sure seems like this was. Geekify, if you click through, produced some things for Neopets, but not a TTRPG. And it feels like someone said, how hard could it be? Right. And then raised $500,000 and figured out like, oh, it takes a little something. But in 2 years, it feels like with that sort of funding, you could pay people who know what they're doing to make a TTRPG. Very strange. I kind of hate it because anyone catches wind of this, let alone backed it, is now gun shy about backing the next thing. So just be wary when you are backing something on Kickstarter. And if you're thinking about launching something on Kickstarter, make sure you're mostly done. And as someone who did exactly that, you're going to find out that mostly done means roughly halfway done if you're lucky. And you can do it because these jabronis did. They made $500,000. So there's still hope for you. Just, come through and don't get your licensing revoked because you didn't put in any effort for 2 years.
And the most recent update was 2 days ago, where the project was officially canceled 2 years later. Yeah, it says that they sent out, they're claiming that the playtest documents that they sent out weren't ready for prime time and were accidentally released. Which is a little suspect, but I don't know, that's what they said.
Feels sus.
This also just shows to Goya that you can have a creator who has a track record of delivering stuff and has connections in big industries and can still fall flat on their face on Kickstarter.
Yes, and you need to know that. It feels like that is something people forget about, and its origin. I think it used to be much more evident that Kickstarter was like a bet. Like, I believe in this flashlight and I want it to get made and I'm willing to risk $50 to get one, and I understand that I might not. And at least in the TTRPG space, it does feel like a lot of people do a lot of pearl clutching when something doesn't get delivered, and like that was always part of the agreement you were making. And I don't like it. I think it's bad to not fulfill your obligations, but at the same time, like, what happens to all the backers? Potentially nothing, because that is the agreement. It's a gamble whenever you back something on Kickstarter, and this, as you say, had all the indicators of a legitimate thing. They have Neopets, as much as I am out of the loop, is a big IP. They had the license to do it, which means the company entrusted them to do a good job, which is like an indicator of some sort of stability here. So yeah, this is a thing that can happen, and if you're shocked and appalled, like there's a level of outrage that's acceptable here. It sucks, but anytime you back a Kickstarter, this might happen.
Tweet Steel makes a great comment here that when they started the Nimble Kickstarter, they thought they were 70% done and realized they were 30% done.
That is legit. Like, I thought I was probably 70-80% done, and I was like 40% done when I made my book.
Yeah, I have a friend and co-author named Nick who he is a very, very busy guy. He has a dozen projects going on at any time, and he's the kind of person I learn a lot by watching him, because he says yes to everything and he thinks everything is a good idea, and he also has a lot of good ideas. But a lot of his ideas are based on a future version of himself that will have a better work ethic. So he's like, sure, I can take on 20 hours a week tutoring new authors. Why not? I'll just work harder. And I see him fail. Sometimes he fails at these things, and sometimes he pulls off miraculous, whatever. So it's a good lesson for me. Like, don't make commitments based on a future version of myself that I'm banking will be able to deliver something that I haven't been able to do. Yeah, that's a future Nick problem. Exactly. I say that all the time. That's a future Jim problem.
I can very much relate to what you're describing here.
Yeah. If you can learn from the mistakes of others, that's great. I don't usually learn from my own mistakes. So anytime I can preemptively learn, I try to. And speaking of preemptively learning lessons, coming up within the last couple of weeks, D&D Beyond put out a partnered content release schedule. You guys didn't talk about this on the show while I was gone, did you? I'm not about to redo a segment we've already done.
No, we talked about the beginning, the last batch of partner content, and then we talked about that major roadmap that came out for D&D at large while you were fighting time-traveling robots. So we did not get into this yet.
Yeah, I lead a busy life, people. So Coming up in near future, Dr. Drolin's Dictionary of Dinosaurs, the Tom Carter's sticker packs, and the Northlands World Book, Northlands Sagas. And Dr. Drolin's Dictionary of Dinosaurs looks pretty interesting. It says it's historically accurate. And what does it say? 304 pages of stunning, illustrated, scientifically accurate, dynamically designated content. So if you really are eager to do a Land of the Lost kind of campaign, like adventures transported into prehistoric, or do some kind of prehistoric adventure, but I like adventures transported into prehistoric times. That sounds like fun.
It's giving Dinotopia, and it is written by paleontologists, and it shows. Like if you have a dinosaur kid in your orbit, this is a dope book. Even if they don't play D&D, it might be a gateway into D&D. But like looking at the stat blocks are good. And then the rest of the page is like the history of the discovery of the fossil record and like the etymology of the name itself and what we have gleaned about their living habits. So it's very dinosaur forward, like very real life dinosaur forward, which I think is dope if you're looking for more fantasy and less reality. Although I don't know, you go back to the dinosaur epochs, might as well be fantasy. We are just making it up and inferring things from bits and pieces, but there's a lot of real world information coming out of like, where did we find these bones? The way they were arranged implies that they like raised their young. All sorts of cool dino facts come along, and the art is dope. It's giving Dinotopia.
Microraptor. Yeah, this is pretty. You already know if this is for you. You know, just when you heard the title, you knew if this was for you or not. And wouldn't this be great if in his, I don't know what class do you learn about dinosaurs in school, in like middle school?
Science, earth science. It feels like elementary school. It feels like, did I learn about earth? I guess yeah, earth science. Was that earth science?
I don't know, but I'm just imagining a middle grade teacher letting kids play D&D in the land of the dinosaurs for a semester, and basing the adventures around learning about the dinosaurs in the area. They have to learn about the dinosaurs to live peacefully with them or defeat them in combat, you know. I don't know. Teachers, get on that.
Love it.
And the other book, I don't know anything about the sticker pack, but the other book that is coming to D&D Beyond is this Northlands World book, which is giving very Scandinavian, is giving Skarsgård.
Skarsgård. I really like Cobalt Press. What's interesting to me about this, I want to do a little more. I was like, oh, I didn't hear about this one. Because it's you can pre-order it right now. It seems like it's coming out on D&D Beyond when it comes out via Cobalt Press, and you can get this for Tales of the Valiant as well as 5e. If 5.5e is not your bag, Cobalt Press does cool stuff. If you're looking to augment an Icewind Dale campaign, perhaps, or anything in that area. Cool monsters, cool items, cool spells, a lot of good flavor. I'm pretty sure this book has at least a few like subclasses, which may or may not clash with what you have going pre-established. But if you are looking for a new campaign book, they do good stuff.
If you're running a Wild Mount campaign, Wild Mount is also very snowy, icy. Oops. 8 new subclasses.
As far as the
city monsters.
The middle one, Tom Kartos does cool stuff. I like presumably his maps. I feel like stickers is not the word. Not that I am the guy who's like finding the perfect word, but it does feel this is less appealing to me. Map stickers than like, I don't know what the right word is. Assets. I'm a grown man playing Let's Pretend games. I don't need stickers, right?
Well, this is kind of interesting because the whole shtick of maps is that it's like turnkey done for you.
Mhm.
So the idea of like building sticker packs is a little antithetical to that. Now that's what I like about maps is that you can buy if you want to go all digital, you can buy the at least the newer adventures, you can buy the thing and it comes with the maps with all the tokens on them already and you don't have to futz around with it. And I don't know just if I don't think maps has dynamic lighting yet, but that'll be the real test because if you've ever DM'd like on roll 20 and had to set up boundaries for sight, it's a pain in the ass. Big pain in the butt. It takes forever. And it's a bummer when you're an online dungeon master how much of your prep time is clerical, administrative, clicking on things.
Which is why I run a very lo-fi owl bear rodeo based. I don't even customize my tokens most of the time. Like straight somebody wants I've been in games that had all the bells and whistles and really enjoyed it. I'm not going to run one. I put enough time into the prep. Every minute I spend reticulating splines is a minute I'm spending not on the cool story aspects. So
Yeah, I play in a roll 20 game and when I run I usually do elbow rodeo. I tried roll 20, I don't like it. And I've told my horror story about playing in Foundry, where the DM had you like clicking on things, um, where the DM had Foundry all kitted out with every plugin you can imagine, and one thing he had a plugin that tracked people's mouse cursor. So everyone, all the four of us plus the DM, when their mouse cursor moved,
mm, mm.
imagine this while you're trying to concentrate and play D&D, and you can see like, oh, the druid is over there clicking in the journal. Oh, the fighter is clicking on token. Like it was too. I couldn't handle it, man. I couldn't handle it. I had to look away. Anyway, speaking of looking away, maybe moving on. Speaking of things, maybe you want to look away from. Maybe that's the segue that we needed there, Ryan. That's the segue I was looking for. I got it.
We got it. We got it.
Got it. So Chris Cox, the Hasbro CEO, clarified things he said about AI because people keep bringing it up. And he said the technology is not used to make D&D or Magic the Gathering. He gave several examples of how AI is integrated with the company. It has a Peppa Pig AI to provide feedback on Peppa Pig toys, for instance. He stated he stated every facet of the company currently uses AI. Where's this other thing? Oh, he says it's primarily non-creative operations such as finances, supply chains, and general productivity enhancements. This is standard. That sucks because that means people lost their jobs. It still sucks, but every big company does this now. Every big company is using AI people are using AI at their jobs. Every corporate drone, cubicle farm, that's the phrase I was looking for. Every cubicle farm is using AI. They're using it in Excel to automate spreadsheets. Like a company using AI is no longer a thing that sets them apart, I think, in
This guy's job is to make stock number go up. That is his number one priority. And to do that, you say, yes, we do the thing that everybody's doing to make number go up, which is AI right now and has been for a few years now and will be until it dramatically changes whenever, maybe a week or two from now when the bubble pops. But I wouldn't panic. This guy has to say on an earnings call, he has to say, yeah, we use AI for all the cool stuff. However, there are these nerds who get real angry if we use it in their game, so we don't, because it is very unethical. But everyone else is using it, so we have to. So we're doing it exactly as much as we can, except for where it will lose us money. And that is the beginning and the end of all of his calculations. I don't know if I believe he has a home game or not, because I believe this is the gentleman that says he plays with hundreds of people a week.
30 to 35 people regularly is what he said, something like that.
I mean, I guess if you count all the games that you're not, the games that you're theoretically in that aren't happening anymore and haven't happened for months, maybe you could get up to that number. Or God forbid, like they just in Hasbro, everyone has a lunch hour meeting scheduled with the CEO to play TNT every month or something. That could also be what's happening here. But yeah, I don't know. I am not an advocate for AI or a big fan, but I think compared to a lot of people in this community I am more resigned, cynical. I don't know what it is. I try to stay pretty optimistic about everything, but like AI is not going away. All these jerks are going to keep trying to profit off it as much as possible. They've made Ultron. You can't unmake Ultron unless I don't know, he drops a city from the sky first. So this is the world that we're living in. Whoever it is who's running D&D is going to say, yeah, AI is great, but we don't use it to make pictures because we value artists. They don't value artists. They just value their profits. So
they value artists in the commodity they can provide and the social capital they can establish by using them. And Ryan's right. This is a hobby in which we care about who makes the art. There are probably a lot of other industries that they don't care who makes the art, but in this one we do. We want to know it was made by humans. Overall, I think it's good that he's clarifying this because people continue to be confused about it. It's like the franchise model. I don't know why.
it's the wrong word.
It's the wrong word. Like at Apple for years, they wouldn't say AI. They said machine learning. AI, Apple touted their product's machine learning superiority for a couple of years until they finally started saying AI. They finally did it in this last year. They couldn't avoid it anymore.
And you can get into the weeds of what is AI, like social media platform or content delivery system, like the one you're consuming this on right now, has AI under the hood deciding what it's going to show you next. The umbrella is quite big. And typically we are talking about, funnily enough, language learning models that make pictures. That's probably wrong. Again, I am not the AI guy or advocate. But I think the best thing about what's happening here is that this CEO of Hasbro has heard and registered the public outcry that no, we don't want crappy Midjourney pictures. We want you to pay a human. We don't want you to cut every corner and make this product soulless because we can go somewhere else and will and have in the past. So play nice and keep it team human. And he knows he has to say that. Again, I am there's a real politic thing going on whenever CEO is speaking on an earnings call, but he knows it's so unpopular and so toxic, and that means we were loud enough and they are actually listening to us, which is nice, which means we actually still have influence on which way D&D is going.
Look at Twin Still here is a total Chris Cox apologist. Wes Marcus.
You heard it here first, folks.
He runs a game for everyone in everyone at Hasbro, and they all come by his office.
I mean, if you're the CEO of Hasbro and you pop onto the official D&D Discord server and you open up a sign-up sheet for a West Martian style campaign, like I'm sure you could hit 30, 35 people signing up, probably because they don't know who you are. Ooh, got him.
Indeed. All right, so moving on, we're really cooking, and that's okay. So a fun little thing popped up just the other day. a draft manuscript for Magic the Gathering TTRPG from 1996. And this guy, Jonathan Tweet, probably not his real name, or maybe it is. I don't know who this is, but he's doing it as a fundraiser and with permission. And he's saying he's raised $1,800 so far, but he said it's a silent secret auction where you DM him. 30 people feels like I love McDonald's food. I'm gonna take a big old giant bite of this Dungeons and Dragons on camera. Twin Steel says he's one of the 3E designers.
There's a couple people in the credits. If you, I don't know if you can read that chat, but a couple well-known names, including off the top of my head, Wolfgang Bauer, who's the man in charge, or one of the guys in charge at Cobalt Press, who we know and love. Mana Storm, dope name. No notes. It's, it's fun. I went through like a whole process of like absorbing this information. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe there was Magic the Gathering TTRPG. And then I was like, of course they're like, how could there not be? And then I onboarded, okay, 1996. Wizards of the Coast was making a Magic the Gathering game. And then instead they bought D&D. So I wonder how much of the bones of Mana Storm are actually in 3E. You have 3E designers in the credits. I don't know if it's legal for me to say this, but I am. It would be cool if the person who buys this makes it more available in some way or another, because I would love to look at this. It is. Again, it's not a thing I want or would consume necessarily, but I know a ton of people would be interested in more Magic the Gathering D&D crossovers. I'm not sure, honestly, how successful like Strixhaven and Ravnica and Theos. Is there other ones? There's other ones too, I'm sure.
Ravnica,
It just seems like we own two big IPs, and there's like Forgotten Realms Magic cards or D&D Magic cards or something. Like it goes over the other way too. But
what was that other Magic crossover one? I keep thinking Mythic Odyssey.
Yeah, Theos. Am I saying it?
Theros?
Theros, maybe. The Greek mythology
Odyssey
one.
Theros? Does that sound?
Theros.
No, that's not right.
That's not right. Help us out.
Chat, get at us. What is it?
Theros?
I don't own that one. I never read that one.
Yeah, Theros.
In the
Teros.
comments. Let's keep saying it. And the comments, he says he's going to post some pictures of the interior. And whoever gets this, whoever wins this, get at us. We would like to see it. We want to see if this made it to the bones of maybe Mana Storm is the difference between 3.0 and 3.5. No, the 0.5 things, because that's what happened, right? Like they had 3.0, came out, WotC bottom, and then they did that thing where they're like, we're going to redo it because we're here now. And I wonder if what they added was like, we've been working on our own thing for a couple of years.
It's very curious. Actually, shout out. I don't know if he's in chat right now, but Phil Kearney has done a lot of what I'm describing. He's done some cool, because I haven't played Magic in years and years. Can't afford it. But the Magic system in Magic is pretty dope. And I think there's a cool version of that in a D&D like game. And it doesn't seem like a heavy lift. It seems like, I don't know, how many Magic the Gathering RPGs have been made and not published? Because I think it might be more than one. I think Mana Storm might be one of a whole wing of these things that are just like sitting in binders somewhere.
Yeah, but your theory about how they, instead of putting this out, they bought D&D. Well, that seems correct to me. So moving on, now we reached the part of the show already. Wow, we're cooking. We reached the part of the show that we call the catch up, where we say what's going on. And so what I got going on is my voice has been recovering for a while. You can notice I haven't put out any videos. I've got a script for a video I think is pretty good. It might be the last video I do for a while. I don't know. I might take a break. But I've been unable to record because I had COVID, and then it just, I don't know. People keep expecting me to talk to them. If I could just not talk to anyone for a whole week, I'd probably be fine.
I'm not
That's not
apologizing.
Ryan, God damn it. But that's not how real life works. In my Curse of Strahd Wednesday game, my character revealed his big secret about being a spy. And I forgot that I was going to have to admit to the group that I was lying to them. So they were mad at me and they had to forgive me. And I was like, oh, I forgot this was going to be part of it. I thought they were going to be like, ooh, cool. But they were like, so you've been lying to us. Because my playing my character started from elf cleric spy. Those were three words that I just thought of, and there was like, that'll work. And then but there's a paladin in the party, and so I was kind of pretending to be a big follower of Tyr, and so he had to find out. I was like, I'm actually more spiritual than religious, and that didn't go over well. I was like, Tyr's got some good ideas, but I'm not fully in, you know. My divine power comes from justice, balance. I don't know. I'm secretly a harper, so it's all about keeping magical items out of Strahd's hands. That's the mission now.
I feel like a campaign like Curse of Strahd is a good vehicle for having characters that are jerks. A lot of D&D is built for heroic characters, and a lot of players sit down and are like, I do my best to do good all of the time. This is one chance I get to be an asshole without consequences. So I'm going to try that for a while. So to make the engine still run, you can just make the world terrible. Make it so bad that these derelicts have to get their shit together and cooperate because things are bad and are only going to get worse. It doesn't matter how bad you are. This guy's way worse, and it's threatening whatever it is you care about, however selfish you may be. It's like, yeah, you like your stuff, but if the world's over, that's where your stuff is. You gotta get in on this.
Thanks, Mr. Vincent. Speaking of, I already forgot because I looked at the comments, but speaking of something Ryan just said reminded me of, I have a recommendation. There's a new Pixar Disney movie called Hoppers, and it didn't get a whole lot of press, but it's the best Pixar movie in quite a while. I took my son to see it last weekend, and it's amazing. If you like Pixar, you'll love it, but I think everyone should go see it because it's a masterclass in Pixar style storytelling because what they do, it's a very simple story. A protagonist wants to stop a bad thing from happening. A protagonist wants to protect a glade from land developers. That's basically the story. A young woman, her glade is in danger of a highway being built over it. She's trying to stop the highway. Very simple story, very imminent stakes, very clear stakes. We know why she wants what she wants. But the magic of the movie is that they made me like the protagonist in the first 30 seconds of the movie. The movie opens with a turtle. A turtle looks like at a pond. We zoom out, turtle's in an aquarium. Zoom out, the aquarium is in a school. Bunch of kids come over and they're like touching the turtle, like harassing the turtle. Turtle ends up on its back. So this is 5 seconds. Then the protagonist approaches, picks up the turtle and rights him. And then she says, you know what? I'm going to get you out of here. Puts the turtle in her backpack, starts getting all the animals, putting them in her backpack. This is like 15 seconds. I'm like, yes, this girl is awesome. I'm on board. And then the next 2 minutes is this crazy heist scene where she's trying to break out of the school while her backpack is so full of stolen animals that it's too heavy for her to run. And it's just, if you can find online just the first 2 minutes of the movie, watch it and you'll understand what I mean. Like, it's the most important storytelling thing is that I have to like or relate to or feel something. I have to want the protagonist to succeed. It's the most important thing about a story. And if you make, like, in the first 30 seconds, I was on board. I was like, yeah, she's awesome. Let's go. So Anyway,
And that's an important part for dungeon masters to onboard because a lot of the time we are trying very hard to reinvent the wheel and make some very convoluted triangular shaped wheel that doesn't go as well as the circles we are very familiar with. And on the player side, why do people care? Why do I like you? Why do I want you in this party? Are there answers to those questions? No? Okay, cool. Keep working on your character. If I hate your character and have the power to kill them, I might.
yeah, in D&D terms, the players are the protagonists, so you don't have to make them like themselves. In D&D, it's critical to make the players like the world or something in it. An NPC, a glade, a religion, an idea. The players have to glom onto something in your world that makes them care about it.
And I think it's always better if there's a lot of advice. The dungeon master should be the biggest fan of the characters, and that is true. But like the interplayer side of that is equally true, if not more so, because they outnumber the DM. So if you can give your fellow players a reason to like your character, or you can find a reason to invest some of your energy into what's going on at the rest of the table, not just your character, it's going to be a better story. It's going to be a better game. It's going to be a better time. Do that. Please do that.
What you got going on, Ryan?
I started a Shadow Dark campaign. So we did character creation, which is very fast and fun, and we did it together at the table, and I did 3d6 down the line. We rolled for everything, up to and including names. That's all in the Shadow Dark book. Players had a really good time. Bit of a cultural shift coming from like literally 20th level D&D 5.5. So it's a little introspective still. We're aware of the system, and we're not in it fully yet, like the lower immersion scale. But that's the Tuesday night game that's happening in the friendly local neighborhood game shop, which has a coffee shop and 100 other people in the room who are not participating in our game, some of whom are now our friends. So people coming and going, it's a less immersive experience. Wednesday, the weather prevented me from running my online game because the power kept coming in and out, and I was prepared for, I don't know, having to hide in my bathtub because we broke the planet.
Oops.
Thursday night. Oopsie. I wonder what could possibly be causing all these strange weather events. Thursday night, I got to rejoin the Game Masters Roundtable, those crazy Kiwis and the rest of the squad. Great people. We played a round of Super Atomic by AJ Pickett and Fred's. Fred of How to D&D.
Had a day and
again.
day.
How to D&D. I'm not going to do the
Had a
accents
day
because
and
it's...
day.
Oh, it's good though. It is good. Chick. Do you like Flight of the Conchords? Do you like Taika Waititi? Go hang out. Go hang out with those guys for a little bit. They know they're fun. It's a whole different vibe of humor. It's great. So Fred from How to D&D ran it on Wally DM's channel. Wally wasn't feeling super well, so it's kind of like being a passenger in your own car. It's a weird, unique experience when someone else is driving. Phil Kearney, friend of the pod, was there, as well as Mark from Dungeon Class, and we had a great time. Again, we rolled characters. I rolled up a ridiculous combination of things. AJ has made insane like D1000 tables to find your powers and your background, and it was great. I suggest you watch it. We cover a ton of ground in a couple hours because that's what you can do in a real rules light system. And yeah, I had a blast. A lot of fun.
And where can they find that?
Right now, that is on Wally DM's channel. Eventually, I think there will be a version on How to D&D as well. But go over to Wally DM's channel, which is dope. If you have ever struggled with puzzles or you really enjoy puzzles, both ends of the spectrum, you're going to get a lot out of Wally. He's made some dope books and some dope adventures and more on the way, which I know it's exciting. And I know it's so exciting, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it. And it's under his live tab. It was a stream, so go into the live tab and see me and some awesome creators play a dope game that you might want to bring to your table. They're currently playtesting and revising it, and a new version is going to be available soon. But you can get your hands on a lot of it already. It's dope.
Do you see this comment from Twin Steel?
What's the one on needing to re-release the book due to issues with the contributor? There was some drama that I am not privy to. I think perhaps there was a whiff of even like potential art coming from non-human sources, maybe. But yeah, there was some happenstance that caused them to pull it off of drive-through temporarily, and they're making the best of a bad situation and making the game better. And we were talking like, I don't know how far my advice goes with people who've been contributing to this space for 20 plus years. But we were banding about some ideas about how to improve the game and like especially like the GM side of the game. And I think what's going to come is a bigger, better Super Atomic out of all of this. And it seems like it's coming soon.
Cool. I look forward to that. All right, moving on. The last topic we're going to cover on our shorter show today is dooba. So this article just popped up on Bell of Lost Souls. 5 class ideas WotC hasn't explored in a while, and I thought there was a couple of interesting things in here. And too bad Brad's not here to give us his old man feedback on second edition stuff. Just kidding. I'm just a couple of years younger than Brad.
Now we get to see if Brad actually watches the entire episode or not. Nobody tell him.
Okay, so here's some 5 classes. Let me go through them real quick. Let me name them all, and then we'll discuss. The Avenger, the Shaman, the Ninja, the Eidolon, and the Warden. Warden sounds very familiar. Which a couple of these are words I think you're not really supposed to say anymore, actually. But first up, the Avenger is a 4E second edition. Started as second edition as an alternative to the Druid, and then was big in 4E. Divine energy and two-handed weapons, but unlike paladins, they're mobile, lightly armored, so a Dex paladin. I think it's concept D&D could revisit. I kind of like the idea. Now, when you tell me, whenever someone wants to pitch me a class, my first thought is, why could this not just be a subclass? Or why could this not be a magic item?
Why? Yeah, more that.
But Dex Paladin, I think, is an interesting area. Dex Paladin that can wield two-handed weapons, that's very interesting. But I like the idea of sneaky healer. So what are your thoughts on the Avenger?
I didn't think of sneaky healer, but that's my favorite pitch so far. There was a point in the 5.5 playtesting where they had broken out the magic not into schools but into sources,
Primal,
and it was primal
arcane.
and arcane and celestial, gaudy, I don't otherworldly, divine maybe, not celestial but divine. Was it divine though? Because it would also,
I don't
whatever,
remember.
heaven and hell, up and down, up and down, side to side, in and out. And I think that was a really great premise, and you could have a primal paladin, basically, is what this feels like, which is kind of the ranger, right? Saying that it could be a subclass, like this could be an Avenger, could be a version of a ranger. That is, like, I don't have a ton of experience with the 4E version of this, but a Dexy dual wielding, I got some healing, like that sounds like a ranger to me. That sounds like a version of a ranger. Poor ranger, indeed. It's not the version of the ranger I want, but it seems like a lot of people like I've had so many people show up with Drist. No shade, Twin Steel, but like so many people have showed up with like, I'm a dual wielding ranger. I'm like, cool, you're gonna have a bad time because it's poorly assembled, and I can't help you. I will a little bit, but
Yeah, good luck using your natural explorer in these dungeons.
yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah.
so cool concept. Why isn't it a subclass? And maybe it could be. I mean, we're at a new stage. The horizons have broadened quite a bit in the last few months, as far as I'm concerned. I think 5.5e is just getting started. We don't know what's coming next. Something like this or all of these could be there.
Next up, the shaman. There's not a lot of information about this one. It just says shamans were first fleshed out. Second edition. They used a cleric as a chassis, but they were their own class focused on spirit powers, which would let them access high-level magic that wasn't normally available to PCs of whatever level they were. That's a little weird. Something like the shaman would really shine with a treatment like warlocks, eldritch, invocations. So they're an overpowered druid. I don't really get this one.
I like the concept of shaman. I mean, maybe this is one of those words that you were hinting at not being PC anymore. Shamans were, it's like Eskimo, right? Like a very small group of people identified by that name, but we have applied it blanketly to animism, the way everyone before the Enlightenment era understands the way the world works, kind of. I don't know. Anyway, different conversation. Totem, like passive buff sort of character a la WoW, or like I feel like this is a summoner. If you show me a glowing shark thing, I'm getting like a summoner class, which a druid who does that predominantly is annoying. Better in 5.5 than 5. That's one thing that has been improved upon. But there is Ranger kind of covers Beastmaster to a degree, but like the people want a pet class. Neopets is a great example of Neo. I said it right. Neopets. People want to play Pokemon. People want to go kill a monster and absorb its essence and then throw it at the next fight. And I'm okay with that if you do it well. And maybe that's just my imaginary version of what a shaman is, but.
And next is the ninja. It's pretty cool art here. I don't know what that's from. Originally an extension of the thief. They found their own identity in 3.0 and 3.5. Ninjas more combat focused. They had, instead of sneak attack, they had sudden strike, and like the monk, they made use of key powers. Now, focus on something like sneak attack for light mobile attacker, and I say no, because ninjas don't play well with others. They don't work well in groups. They are lone rangers. They roll solo and assassinate people. And if you have a group where one person is going off a lot to do stuff, if their specialty requires them to go off on their own, then they're not a good. It's not a good character for the table. Your rogue is going to sneak off and pickpocket somebody sometimes. That shit's going to happen. But if like the character is based around solo missions,
I like a good rogue because I like a skill monkey, and like I make exploration happen even if I'm not running the game.
Mm-hmm.
But a buddy of mine built a rogue, and we have like a fairly strategic table, and he realized like, oh, I built a character for solo missions, and that's very hard to do next to these idiots who are clinking and clanking in their armor, and you can kill me now because I'm going to make a new character. And I did with gusto, and it was a great moment. But he realized like this character doesn't work well in a party, and it's true. It's kind of a trap in a lot of ways if you don't know what you're getting into. Ninja, yeah, also maybe a word we shouldn't be throwing about too much. But this is a monk with a sword. That's fine with me. Give a monk a sword. Have him not be penalized too much. Shadow step, Shadowfell, the shadow touched monk is basically this.
Or Kensei monk. Kensei monk
Kensei monk
is the weapon monk.
is the weapon monk. Yeah, give the weapon monk and the shadow shadow step. Damn, I don't know. It's in the new PHP. It's like this monk has been to the Shadowfell and can disappear into shadows, and it's that one episode of Samurai Jack that is dope. It's cool, but it's not a party playing. It's a solo mission kind of thing, which not great. Is it just Shadow Monk? I was trying to make it more complicated. Shadow Monk.
Shadow monk, yeah, is the one that can teleport from dim light to dim light.
Yeah.
The Eidolon, I may be saying that word wrong, but if you never had a chance to check out the Ghost Walk book, blah, blah, blah. The Eidolon, this is a class designed to be the ghost of your player character after they died, so you could keep playing looking for vengeance. I like that idea of a hard choice at PC death. Of like, you don't have to go away. You don't have to roll up a new character. You can play the same person, albeit changed. And they did some of that in Van Richten's with the there's a species that's
it's a revenant, but yeah, it's a revenant, but not.
Yeah, that's not the word though.
Yeah, it's like
I don't remember what they called it.
Flesh bag. What's it called? I don't know.
Flesh bag. Yeah, the flesh bag from Van Richten's kind of accomplishes this. Do you have any thoughts here?
Super cool concept. I don't need fewer ways for PCs to die. This feels like an overlay. I just blanked on the word. Daggerheart has these like mutations where like you contract lycanthropy or whatever. Like your character has an extra thing. Reborn. Sick. Hey, Mr. Welch. Glad you made it home. I am suspicious that this is a dope class to play and not actually, oh, you want to keep your character here, there's a price. It's like, oh, cool. I want to be a ninja or whatever inappropriate thing. And I also want to be incorporeal, so no one can hit me anymore. It's like, okay. Like this feels like a min-maxer wet dream, maybe.
Yeah, perhaps so. And finally, the Warden, another 4th edition classic, meant to be defender focused on heavy armor defensive abilities through primal power or nature magic. So we need a warrior that feels beefy but that wields magic, which an Eldritch Knight can do that, or a ranger, or an Eldritch Knight or a strength ranger could definitely do that. But the idea of the tanky nature guy is kind of interesting. I don't know. What do you think? I don't.
I don't. That's a picture of a druid. What you're describing is a barbarian subclass.
Yeah.
You can't make a tank in D&D. That's another conversation I have with a lot of new players. Like you can. It's nice to have hit points. It's nice to have armor class. You can't pull aggro. And if you're fighting a smart guy, I'm not going to hit you behind your tower shield. I'm going to hit the little dweeb in the bathrobe who's doing the most damage if I have an ounce of intelligence and I've survived the first round where someone threw a fireball at me. So 4th edition was built different, but it's hard. It's hard to give that defensive class fantasy. The closest thing is a support caster, and I think they're great, but I think I think a lot of players who want to play tanks are not the same players that want to play a support type. Although maybe I'm projecting.
I think if you're interested in the Warden, you should check out the Warden class that I released, which was my fix for the Ranger. I made the Ranger more interesting by not making him reliant on a Hunter's Mark type spell and giving him rangery kinds of things to do, like sub-games like crafting and alchemy and tanning monsters and fletching, preparing monsters to eat or sell.
Hey, a bunch of people just showed up. Shout out to Phil. We were talking about you earlier.
Hey, Phil.
Mr. Welsh. Or do a Gandalf. Dress the fighter in wizard robes. Ladies and gentlemen, I did not invent this. I'm not going to take credit. But Gandalf is definitely a fighter. with a little either a wizard dip or a feat. Like my man, he casts Animal Messenger and Light, and mostly has a dope sword.
So
That's not a
here's the thing.
wizard.
I just watched rewatched the trilogy a couple months ago, and
Hmm.
here's one thing at Bilbo's birthday party, Gandalf definitely dimension doors. It's too he gets from the party to Bilbo's house. It's way too far for a Misty Step. He's there in an instant. It has to be dimension door, so he's got access to fourth level spells.
Okay.
I don't know. Is it a scroll? Maybe he's got one level of wizard. So he can get access to to scrolls.
I will say there's more. There's like a wizard fight throwdown with the necromancer who is Sauron in The Hobbit. It hits different, but that's also they took a lot of liberties in that trilogy. Um, but yeah, there's a very compelling argument. But that's an or he's sneaky. I mean, he's a fighter who's not wearing armor, so he might be dex based, right? And he knows that Bilbo has a ring of invisibility, and he knows where Bilbo would go. Because if I had fourth level spells, I mean, maybe I'd be that fire. I don't know. Did he make those fireworks? Then he's maybe he's an alchemist.
So maybe
Okay,
maybe Bilbo didn't go straight home. Maybe Bilbo doddered around invisible and stole a couple of muffins out of the cart before
he was
headed
definitely
home.
like looking in windows. I mean,
Mm.
we all know Bilbo was probably at least a little bit of a creep, right? If we're all honest with ourselves.
If you have a
For-
ring that can turn you invisible, I think the propensity to use it for ill is at least tempting for everyone.
Yeah, especially for a hobbit who doesn't love his relations. Like, there's a lot of eavesdropping going on. The peeping was probably inadvertent at first, and then you're like, oh, okay, what? Maybe
Artificer
they're
fusions.
fusions.
There we go.
Yeah.
Could be. I don't know. But we're gonna have to continue this discussion of Gandalf's D&D class next week because we've reached the end of our time, and I don't know. It's a crazy world out there. I hope you filled up your car with gas a couple weeks ago and haven't been driving because it's not getting better. I filled up my car today, and holy crap! Anyway, it had been a couple weeks since I got gas, and I should have filled up the tank 10 days ago when I had a chance. Anyway, but we thank you for watching, and we hope that you have a fantastic weekend. And Bilbo was busy getting revenge on this Saxville Baggins before he got home. Oh, yes. The Nimble Kickstarter is over, yes? And clearly it was our support that pushed you over the edge. Anyway, sticker shock is real, yeah. So chat, thanks for chiming in, Mr. Vincent. Thank you for. I'm gonna do my best to not speak at all for a few days, and we'll see how that goes.
It's probably the
But
best
thanks
for all of
watching.
us.
We love you. Have a great weekend. Be kind to each other. We'll see you.
Peace.